Hey guys, today in this video we're going to be doing a comparison between the GAN 354M and the GAN 356X. So let's get straight into it. So I've owned the GAN 356X for about a week now, and I've owned the GAN 354M for roughly 5 months. But even though I've only owned this one for a week, I would definitely say that for both of these cubes, I've definitely had enough time to generate a valid opinion about what I think about them. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a comparison between them, about some of the specs of them, and whether you should buy them or not, and which one might be best for you. So for the GAN 354M, this cube is 54 millimeters across, just as the name would suggest, and I don't exactly know the weight of it, but it's pretty light compared to most 3x3s that I've felt. And then likewise, the GAN 356X, just as the name suggests, is actually 56 millimeters, which some people like more, some people like less. I guess it sort of depends on your hand size. But once again, the weight is pretty light, and I would say that it's actually probably a little bit lighter than the GAN 354M, but not by much. Now in the packages for both of these cubes comes a set of GAN's GES nuts, as you'd expect. For the GAN's 356X, it comes with the GES nut version 3, which is the one with the numerical IPG system, which is pretty cool. And then the GAN 354M, which just comes with GES nut version 2. Now the thing that primarily sets these cubes apart other than their size is the fact that the GAN's 356X comes with interchangeable magnets, which I do have a video about this, and I will put a card to that right here if you're interested, as well as in the description. But these are basically just interchangeable magnets that you can plop into these given slots, which will give you different magnet strengths. Personally, I like the strongest ones, but it allows you to make up your opinion, which is pretty cool. So apart from what these cubes come with, we will now move on to the feel of them, starting with the GAN 354M. So obviously I've had this cube for a pretty long time now, about 5 months, which definitely means that I've had some time to make up my opinion about it. Now overall, I would have to say that this cube is definitely one of the smoothest cubes that I've ever felt. It was quieter when I first got it, but I think after a little bit of break-in and probably close to 1,000 or 2,000 solves on this cube, it has worn down a little bit, but overall it's still really tactile and smooth and fast, so it's definitely one of my favorite puzzles to solve on. Now real quickly on another note, I don't really do one-handed as an event, but when I do consider this one my main, mostly just because of its small 54mm size, and it's pretty stable for a cube, so just a heads up, this is a pretty good OH cube. Now on to the GAN 356X. So I've had this cube for about a week in total now. I did decide to get this in stickered, so I'm not sure if that makes a difference in the feel or not, but I have to say, throughout the week of myself having this cube, I'm pretty impressed. This is definitely one of the smoothest and most buttery cubes that I've ever felt, and you can sort of hear it in the sound as well. And if you couldn't tell by just listening to that, it's a really quiet cube too. It's pretty light as well, and it just feels like your standard 56mm cube, but I have to say it's one of the most pleasant cubes to solve on that I've ever felt in my life. Now let's say that I didn't have either of these cubes and I needed to choose one to buy, but I did have the knowledge on what they both felt like. I would probably choose the GAN 356X first. That mostly being because of the different customability options that it comes with, not only the GES nuts, but especially the magnets, because that's just a really cool technology, you gotta admit that much. But, that being said, the GAN 354M is probably the best OH option, so depending on how much you do OH, the GAN 354M might actually be a better option for you. So off camera, I did go ahead and do a average of 100 on each of these cubes, just out of curiosity to see if one of them would perform better than the other, and the simple answer is that there's no one that's really better than the other, because the GAN 354M received an average of 100 of 18.76 for me, and the GAN 356X received an average of 100 of 18.68. which realistically isn't that much of a difference, and I don't think you could blame that on the cube being better than the other cube. So that being said, I think that both of these cubes are phenomenal cubes, and I both think that they're a great buy. I will go ahead and put a link to where I got them in the description. If I'm correct, the GAN 356X is about $60 and the GAN 354M is about $40, but prices aside, these both are phenomenal cubes, and I highly recommend that you check them out. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and all I have to say other than that is I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.